humble pranams in the lotus feet of our sweet Swami. And today is a continuation of my last share, which I shared with all of you regarding when Swami had promised that he would give me a husband. He had said, I will give you a husband. So, as humans, we often forget. We think if Swami is saying something, it is because he has seen the future. But he's Brahman Naika. And when he says something, it is bound to come true. It becomes the future. So there is a difference in, foreseeing something and actually making it the future. So that's what happened with us. When Baba told us that I will give you a husband, I returned home. We were very happy, remembered it, sang glories of Baba. But very soon, we put him on a pedestal in the puja room and then we forgot about it. Took matters into our own hands. My father was posted to Bangalore, so we relocated to Bangalore and then began the hunt for the suitable boy, as happens in most Indian homes. And I was at the marriageable age. Newspaper ads were given out. Meetings were arranged between boys and their families. But somehow something very strange was happening. That every time we met with a family, and things went the entire way, and my parents were not much into astrology as such, so they had never got my kundali done, and everything would be fixed, and in the final day, like, they would ask for the birth date and time, and somehow everybody backed off. Then some kind person told my dad that, your daughter is a very strong manglik. You don't believe in it, so please go ahead. But like, we believe in it, and I believe if you're a very strong manglik, it is not very safe. It spells doom for your spouse, I guess. So I guess that's why they were a little hesitant, Um, but anyways, things were going on. Meanwhile, I joined the Bangalore Seva Dal and worked for a bit in Whitefield. But very soon that too came to an end because I was not familiar with the language here, and traveling became a big issue for me. And I'm sure Swami decided somewhere down the line that it's better that she sits at home, because every time I would take a wrong bus, get down somewhere and look around and say, Swami, now what? Where do I go? This way or that way? So I think Swami just decided कि तू घर पे बैठा. So I sat at home, and then very soon I picked up a job in a walking distance from my house so that I didn't have to travel in buses, etc. But now the Swami's plan had started unfolding. And I didn't know it, but the school was about 200 meters from Swami's. There's a auditorium kind of a thing called Sai Darshan in Indranagar, and my school was just in the lane next to it. And the director and etc. of our school were also devotees of Swami. And it was a state school, so it began quite late at around 10:30. And you know how we were at that age, and we still are at some level, that we are always looking for opportunities for seva. So there too, I was looking, oh, Baba, I want to do some seva, kuch to karo, what should I do? So then I noticed that some children were struggling with English. It was a state board school and they were struggling with English. So I decided, I spoke to my headmistress and I said, ma'am, do you mind if I take early morning classes before the school starts for the children who need help with spoken English and reading skills, etc.? So she said, since they are free and voluntary classes, she had no problems with it. And I went ahead and I started going to school a little bit early. And I started these classes. So there were about 12, 13 children who would come up in the morning, and I'd work with them. I would work with them for about an hour and a half before the school began. Meanwhile, on the home front, as you know, my father was in the Air Force. So in the defense, the colony as such, there were a lot of youngsters, and we used to meet in the evenings and talk and chat. So my husband, my only husband, Manish, was also a part of that crowd, and we would all meet up and generally talk and all. And but I was so smitten. I'm still smitten with Swami. So more or less every session would end with me telling them about Swami and how great he is and how I miss him and things like that. So they got interested, and Manish said, I would love to see Swami. He was finishing his training in Yalanka. His father was posted with my father. So he said, I would love to meet Swami since you talk so much about him. I said, fair enough. If I get a chance and if he's in Vrindavan, I'll take you one day to meet him. So this was happening at the home front. Meanwhile, the whole system was on as to Larka Dhundo and all that. So then one day when I reached school, there was a big buzz in the school, a lot of excitement happening. That it seemed the next day Swami was coming to Sai Darshan, which is on the next lane, and I was very excited, and I wanted to take my children to be blessed by Swami, the ones whom in the morning I used to take the classes with. Again, I went to my principal and I said, ma'am, can I take them and get them blessed by Swami, because he comes around 7:38, he'll be coming, I'll get them back before the school begins. So she said, if the parents don't have a problem, you can take them. So I said, okay. So when I went home, I met Manish and Root, and I said, Swami is coming. So would you like to come to Sai Darshan tomorrow morning? And you can also have his darshan since you wanted to meet him and all. So he said, okay, I'll come there. So so it happened like that. Next day, I took those 10 to 12 children with me and went to the lane where Swami was coming. And Manish also reached there. But as you know, if Swami is coming, there's no place. There was no chance of us getting into Sai Darshan at all. It was jam packed. So we stood on the road and we thought we have Swami's car darshan. So all of us made a group and we stood. So Swami came, and he came in his car and he blessed us, the whole group. He blessed us and he went in. So he went in, I think, inside the program and all started. So I told Manish, I'll go and drop the children back in the school and come. And maybe when comes out again we'll have car darshan. So if you want to wait, you can wait. So Manish was okay. He said, okay, I'll wait. And we carried on. I went and dropped the children, and I took permission from my headmistress. She said, yeah, you take the day off. And she probably realized how excited I was of me for, Swami's darshan. So I went back to the same location. By now, the crowd had thinned and everybody knew that Baba will be inside for 1 or 2 hours. So they had thinned, and Manish and myself were the only two people on the road. And so we crossed the road and we stood under the shade of a tree, right under Sai Darshan. And he's standing, and I was telling Manish about Baba's miracles and how Baba this and Baba that. And suddenly there was a hustle, and I saw Swami. He came out on the balcony of Sai Darshan, which was just like this from me. Just both of us over here, and he was right there. And he was looking at me, and I was like, Swami, 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 because it was like a personal darshan for us both happening. And Manish, of course, was not a believer then. So he had his hands in the pocket and he's looking at Swami. And then he looked at me and he said, he's looking at you. He's looking at you. He's saying something. So I was like, Swami. And Swami was smiling ear to ear. And he blessed and blessed and blessed and blessed. So I was thrilled. I was shivering all over. And Manish was grinning. He said, yeah, definitely. He has some power. And of course, Swami went in after a nice ear to ear grin. And he said something which I did not understand. And he went in. And he was, so I was so excited and all that. So, aise karte, afternoon around 3:30, I reached home. And when I reached home, I was talking to my parents. I was telling them, "Aaj ye hua, wo hua," and Swami blessed me, and he blessed the children, and Manish was also there. So my father said, why was Manish there? I said, he also wanted to visit. My father had a very childlike belief in Swami. मतलब स्वामी ने बोला husband देंगे and he's blessed both of you together means I'm going. He started getting ready. I said, why are you getting ready? He said, I'm going to talk to Royce. Royce is my husband's surname. I'm going to talk to them for getting, you both should get married. I said, what? I mean, I'm shocked, and Manish would also be shocked. And he said, "नहीं नहीं, अब Baba is blessed means यही है," and all that. So he went off. उसी time to he and my mom, they went. I gave a call to Manish, and Manish was like, "Yeah, that's okay. We have to get married. It's okay. We'll get married to each other." So it just fell into place, and they did not believe in Kundli, etc. So they were very happy, and the marriage was fixed. And that very evening, Manish had to catch a train. His first posting was to Agra Air Force Base, and he left for Agra. Okay, so my marriage was fixed for 25th November 1996. That was the day of Guru Parv. Now, this is the last incident I'm telling you because it was something very special that happened that day. And it was like the marriage, it was a Guru Parv, it was Guru Purnima. So, full moon night it was, and the marriage was fixed. If some of you know who know Bangalore, it was in the Trinity Circle. There's an Air Force mess called Trinity Mess. So in the back lawns of that mess, it was open air, and the marriage was fixed. And we were supposed to get married in the back lawns. And so we reached there, and there was a full moon, and Baba was giving moon darshan, and the marriage was happening. And the ceremony was supposed to happen before the reception actually started. And bright moon, ceremony happening, and the people started coming in. Now, the people started coming in from the direction of MG Road from one side, and people started coming in from the other direction, that is from the old airport side to the Trinity Circle. Till about few meters away from Trinity Mess, on either side, it was raining cats and dogs. Like people were wondering, poor people, like in their the ceremony is ruined because of the rain. But as soon as they reached the mess, it was bright. There was not a cloud in the sky, and bright moon, and it didn't rain even a small drop the entire night. And the marriage went off beautifully. So somewhere I felt that Baba, what he said and what he promised, and if you have a childlike faith in him and you just trust him with everything, he takes care. And he is like, you have to just soak your life in his love. And like one Lakshmi Didi said the other day, like the salt doll that dissolves in it, just including him in every aspect of your life, not just important aspects. Every single moment should be drenched in Swami. Make him a part of your family. Like I wanted to keep a separate chair for Swami in my drawing room, but every time I did that, somebody would go and sit on that chair. Then I would think, should I tell them to get up, that it's Swami's chair? But then I felt that Swami is a part of our family. So he won't want to be treated like, okay, separate chair for you and separate plate for you and separate thing for you. We should just let him be a part of us, and be in our heart and always be with us. So that's all. Sai Ram.